Sit down. Grab a Paulaner. You're going to need it. So, you're a Bayern Munich fan. Congratulations. You've chosen to support the football equivalent of being the CEO of a company that manufactures beige paint. Your job is secure, your salary is high, and your soul is absolutely unequivocally empty. For 11 straight years. You sat there every Saturday at 3:30 p.m, not with anticipation, but with the weary sigh of an accountant starting his taxes. The Bundesliga Zeit was your designated nap time. You'd check the score, yep, 3-0, Müller just scored with his kneecap, whatever, and you'd go back to wondering if you should pressure wash the driveway. You didn't just win the league, you turned it into a repetitive, joyless admin task. You turned the entire German football pyramid into your own personal feeder club. You weren't just a team, you were a sovereign wealth fund with a stadium, strolling through a farmer's market and buying everyone else's prize-winning cow, not because you needed it, but just so they couldn't have it. And then, it happened. Bayer Leverkusen. The team whose entire identity was built on choking. The team that existed to be the before picture in a how-to-win seminar. They didn't just beat you, they went invincible. They didn't just take your Meisterschale, they stole your car, your wallet and your identity, all while looking annoyingly handsome under Xabi Alonso. You spent a decade being bored by your own success, and the one time you needed to be good, you crumbled. Welcome to the new reality. Winning was boring, but it turns out living in the wreckage of your own collapsed dynasty is, well, it's confusing. You're a dragon that got so fat hoarding gold, you forgot how to breathe fire. 1. The inevitability hangover. You know that feeling when you've been in a relationship for over a decade? It's not exciting, it's comfortable, it's stable. You've forgotten what it's like to be nervous, to feel that spark, to actually try. That, my friend, is what the Bundesliga was for you. And last season, the Bundesliga left you. It packed its bags, said it was tired of the predictability, and ran off with a younger, more attractive Spanish model. The problem with winning 11 titles in a row isn't the winning itself, it's that it completely destroys your sense of perspective. It recalibrates your entire brain until success and failure mean something totally different. For a normal team, a good season is finishing in the top 4. For a great team, it's winning a cup. For you, a good season was winning the league by April. A decent season was winning it on the final day, while psychologically destroying your only rival. And a catastrophe, a total organisational failure, a crisis, is coming in third. You don't feel joy when you win. You only feel a brief, fleeting sense of relief. You feel the absence of panic. The Meisterschale wasn't a trophy for you. It was rent. It was the administrative fee you paid just to exist for another year. And last year you were evicted. You are right now existentially homeless. You're wandering the streets of the Bundesliga, looking in the window at Leverkusen, who are throwing a house party in your house. Now, you have no idea how to process this. Your entire emotional spectrum has been reduced to entitled and apoplectic. There is no in-between. You're not fans, you're shareholders in a company that just missed its quarterly projections for the first time ever, and you're demanding that the entire board be liquidated. 2. The $100 million misery magnet. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the one wearing number 9, the one who speaks English and looks perpetually confused. You did it. You finally broke the bank. After years of acting like the transfer market was some vulgar, new money nonsense, you went full nouveau riche. You saw the one problem you had, no striker, and you solved it by spending $100 million on the most statistically effective, guaranteed goal machine on the planet. You bought Harry Kane, and what did you get in return? 44 goals, 12 assists, a golden boot, a truly monstrous, logic-defying individual season. And in exchange, he got nothing. Not a sausage, not a tin plate, not a single solitary trophy. You didn't just not win the league. You got humiliated in the Super Cup by a glorified energy drink. You got knocked out of the DFB Pokal by Saarbrücken, a third division team. A team whose players probably have to clock into their actual jobs on Monday morning. You absolute geniuses. You didn't just buy a striker, you imported a curse. You spent $100 million to acquire the most potent, concentrated, weapon-grade Spursiness on the planet. Harry Kane is a trophy black hole. He is a walking, talking, goal-scoring void where silverware goes to die. He's so anti-trophy that he arrived in Munich, and the Meisterschale physically recoiled, screamed, "I'm not ready to be a jinx," and threw itself at the one team that had never won it. You used to be FC Hollywood. Now you're just the German branch of Tottenham Hotspur, but with better weather. You paid a premium to prove that you could lose the league in the most expensive, spectacular fashion imaginable. Congratulations on your 44 goals. You can melt them all down and make a nice little statuette of a man wondering why he ever left North London. 3. The unfireable, refireable, unhireable coach. Let's talk about the managerial strategy at Bayern Munich, which seems to be run by a committee of 8-year-olds playing football manager with the sack boss button taped down. You had Julian Nagelsmann, the wunderkind, the tactical messiah who wore curtains as jackets. You were in contention for a treble, so what did you do? You fired him. On a ski trip. You fired your generational talent manager while he was literally on a mountain just to hire Thomas Tuchel. And how did that go? Oh, right. Tuchel immediately fumbled the bag in the Pokal in the Champions League. You only won the league because Dortmund performed the single most spectacular act of self-sabotage in human history on the final day. It was a victory that felt like finding a $20 bill in a pair of pants you'd just thrown in the mud. So, you start the 2023-24 season with Tuchel, and it's fine. It's just fine. But fine is a 4-letter word in Bavaria. By February, you've already announced you're firing him at the end of the season. A lame duck coach. A brilliant tactical move that definitely won't demotivate the entire squad. Then the funniest thing in the world happened. You couldn't find anyone to take the job. You became the rich guy at the bar at 2 a.m, trying to impress everyone, who gets publicly rejected by, in order, Xabi Alonso. No thanks, I'm actually happy here, you ghouls. Julian Nagelsmann. You mean the guy you fired on a ski trip? Yeah, no, I'm good. Ralf Rangnick. The guy who turned Manchester United into a sociology experiment. He looked at your offer and said, "Nah, I'd rather manage Austria." Austria. You got so desperate, you actually went back to Thomas Tuchel, hat in hand, and said, "Hey, so, you know how we publicly humiliated you and said you're not good enough? Just kidding, please stay." And Tuchel, to his eternal credit, looked you dead in the eye and said, "Pay me." You refused, so he left. You fired a guy, tried to unfire him, and then refired him when he wouldn't agree to be unfired. My head hurts. And who did you land on after this exhaustive, months-long global search for the next tactical genius? Vincent Kompany. A man who just got relegated with Burnley. You hired a man who was by definition not good enough for the Premier League, to manage the most high-pressure job in Germany. This isn't a coaching search. It's a cry for help written in rejected offer letters. 4. The Mir San Mir shadow government. You know what Mir San Mir means? We are who we are. And who are you? You're a high-functioning, toxic family business run by 2 grumpy granddads who refuse to retire. Welcome to the real Bayern Munich. It's not a football club. It's a medieval court ruled by King Uli Hoeneß and his slightly less scary counterpart, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge. These men are not board members. They are the guys on the balcony from the Muppets, and their only job is to sit in the VIP box, look disgusted, and publicly criticise every single person who isn't them. You cannot have one single, solitary week of peace. It is structurally impossible. If the team wins 3-0, Uli Hoeneß will find a microphone to complain about the left-back's throw-ins. If a new player is signed, Rummenigge will accidentally leak to Bild that he's not really sure about the player's mentality. They are the architects of FC Hollywood. They are the drama. They crave it. They live off it. They sacked Oliver Kahn and Brazzo, 2 club legends, over text message probably, seconds after the Dortmund game ended. They are the puppet masters who get to hire and fire the coaches, then go on national television to blame the coaches for not being good enough. And you, the fan, you just have to sit there and take it. You have to watch your club's transfer policy be dictated by which ex-player Uli had a nice sausage with last weekend. You have to listen to him go on rants about Toni Kroos being past it, just before Kroos goes on to win, I don't know, 5 more Champions Leagues without him. This isn't a club with a philosophy, it's a club with a mood. And that mood is set by whichever 70-year-old billionaire woke up on the wrong side of the bed. You're not supporting a sports team, you're the unwilling audience for a geriatric soap opera, and the plot never changes. 5. The kindergarten of millionaire egos. You know, most teams have a dressing room. You have a viper's nest. You have a high council, a shadow politburo of the most powerful, thin-skinned and entitled leaders in world football, all of whom are allergic to taking responsibility and masters of the passive-aggressive media leak. This isn't a team. It's a reality show group chat where everyone is secretly leaking stories about everyone else. At the centre of it all, you have the Kimmich question, a problem that has consumed more German media bandwidth than the national economy for the last 3 years. Is he a 6? Is he a right back? Is he a corner kick specialist who only hits the first man? Yes, he's all of them, and none of them. He's the guy who thinks he's the CEO but is actually just in charge of the office thermostat, turning it up and down while everyone else either freezes or sweats. You've spent 5 years trying to build a team around a man who fundamentally misunderstands his own job description, all while he publicly whines that nobody understands him. And who else is in this glorious cast of characters? You've got the wingers, Leroy Sané and Serge Gnabry. 2 players who possess the combined footballing talent of a prime bazooka ball and the combined consistency of a firelight umbrella in a hurricane. Sané will spend 2 months looking like the next Ballon d'Or winner, dribbling past entire teams, and then spend the next 4 months looking like he's just seen a ghost and forgotten how his own legs work. Gnabry, meanwhile, is either scoring a hat-trick or deciding that being a part-time fashion model in Paris is a more pressing career. This isn't a squad. It's a collection of individual brands who report to the senior council of Thomas Müller and Manuel Neuer. Müller, God bless him, is a club legend. He's also the coach killer. He is the guy who will get any manager he doesn't like fired, simply by making a confused face at the media and saying, "I don't know, things are complicated." Neuer is the same, an undisputed GOAT who also torpedoed your entire 2023 season because he thought a casual skiing trip after the World Cup was a good idea. He broke his own leg, forced you to panic buy Jan Sommer, and then got mad when the club even considered a future without him. These players don't fear the coach. Why would they? They've seen dozens of them come and go. They know Uli and Karl-Heinz will always back the stars over the manager. So when Kompany, a man fresh off relegation, walks in and says run, they just look at him, look at their 20 million a year contracts and say, or what? You'll get fired. We know. We'll be here. 6. The soulless cannibal who can't hunt anymore. For 20 years, your transfer policy was simple. It was brutal. It was efficient. It was, well, German. You didn't scout talent. You didn't need to. You just looked at whoever else was good in the Bundesliga and you ate them. Borussia Dortmund has a good player, Mats Hummels, Mario Götze, Robert Lewandowski. You'll take them all. Götze, you took just to break his spirit and sent him back, like a cat dropping a half-dead mouse on the doorstep. Lewandowski, you took for free, a move so cold it should be studied at The Hague. You didn't just want to win, you wanted to ensure nobody else could. RB Leipzig, the plastic upstarts, have a good manager. You take Nagelsmann, they have a good defender. You take Upamecano, they have a good midfielder. You take Sabitzer. Oh, and Lehmer too. Why not? You're not building a team, you're just dismantling theirs. You were a shark and the Bundesliga was your own personal 17-team aquarium. It was immoral, it was joyless, and it was, above all, inevitable. You won the league in the transfer window every single August by giving your rivals your checkbook and saying, who's your best guy? Him, he's mine now. And then, you stopped being good at it. You spent a combined $150 million plus on Lucas Hernandez and Matthijs de Ligt, 2 statement defenders who spent more time in the Krankenhaus than on the pitch. You let club-defining, all-time great defenders like David Alaba just leave for free to Real Madrid, where he immediately won another Champions League, a tactical masterstroke. But the real humiliation came last year. You tried to do the old trick. You looked at the new, scary team, Bayer Leverkusen. You saw their genius coach, Xabi Alonso, and you tried to poach him. He said no. You looked at their star player, Florian Wirtz. He's still there. You looked at their defensive rock, Jonathan Tah, and you finally got him a year later, after they'd already won the league. It's pathetic. You've gone from being the apex predator to a bumbling vulture, showing up after the meal is already over, trying to pick at the scraps. You've lost your aura. You're the bully who just got punched in the mouth by the new kid, and now, suddenly, nobody in the cafeteria is afraid of you anymore. 7. So, what now? This is it. This is your new life. The 2024-25 season. You're not the hunter. You're not even the hunted. You're just there. You're another team in the pack. A very, very rich team with a very, very confused fan base, but you're in the pack. You have to watch Leverkusen, who are still good. You have to watch Stuttgart, who are also still good. You have to show up on a Saturday and actually worry about teams like Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim, you're a Bayern fan. You're not supposed to feel hopeful or anxious about a league match. You're supposed to be checking the scores from England to see if City is dropping points, because that's the only game that actually matters. But now you're biting your nails. You're celebrating a 2-1 win like you just won a final. You're trying to feel joy again, but your muscles for that have atrophied. They're gone. You don't know how to be a normal fan. You're stuck in the ultimate football purgatory. You have all the arrogance, all the entitlement, all the insufferable Mia San Mia energy of a super club. But you've got the recent track record of a mid-table side with an identity crisis. You spent 11 years complaining that winning was boring. You whined that the Bundesliga wasn't a challenge. You looked down on the entire league as your personal grocery store. And the Fußballgott, in his infinite, cruel wisdom, heard you. He looked down and said, "Oh, bored, are we? You want excitement? Well, here it is. Here is your excitement. It's losing to a third division team. It's watching your $100 million striker put up golden boot numbers in exchange for 0 trophies. It's hiring a coach who just got relegated. It's watching your mortal enemies, Bayer Leverkusen, go invincible and steal the title you thought was yours by divine right. You wanted a challenge. You got a humiliation. You're a dragon who got so fat hoarding gold that you forgot how to fly, and now a handsome Spanish knight has moved into your cave, and all you can do is sit outside and complain about it. It sucks to be you. It always sucked, really. It was just a boring, sterile, predictable kind of suck. Now it's a loud, embarrassing, and deeply, deeply funny kind of suck. Enjoy the show. So yeah, winning was boring. But congratulations, you've discovered that losing is just pathetic. What's the German word for schadenfreude when it's happening to yourself? Subscribe or don't. I'm sure you'll win the league next year. Probably. Maybe.